Hello everyone, Roomfiller here, and I'm going to be showcasing my Big Brother / Survivor interactions mod for The Sims 4. This is a somewhat small mod that adds just a few interactions for your Sims to use, so you don't have to guess whether they're talking strategy or not anymore. If you've ever tried to play through a season of Big Brother or Survivor in this game, you probably know the difficulty of trying to create rules for alliances, big moves, votes, all this kind of stuff. And what this mod aims to do is basically remove pretty much all of that guesswork and just let the Sims do it themselves. So, in order to access a lot of the interactions for this mod, keep in mind they can all be done autonomously. You want to go to Friendly, it's usually under More Choices, and you can see we have a brand new strategy menu, and if I go ahead and open this up, you'll see we have a bunch of new interactions. We have Ask About Vote, Assure Safety, Talk Game, Share Information, Propose Alliance, and Propose Deal, which is actually a subcategory, but we'll get into these two in a second. So, these top four, Ask About Vote, all these are just basically flavor text interactions. They don't really do anything. So if I go ahead and do this...
Floy Masharno? Bimo. Ah, yoyum.
You'll see nothing really comes of it. It's just a normal little interaction like you'd find in the game. However, if I go back to Propose Alliance here, this interaction only becomes available when the Sims are at a relationship of 25 or higher. You can see they're currently at 30. If you don't know what this mod is somehow, this is UI Cheats. I will link it in the description. It is a very helpful mod, and I pretty much think it's a requirement for this. If we go ahead and use the Propose Alliance interaction, you'll see this time we actually get a pop-up in the top right here. It says Alliance Formation, Hazel has formed an alliance with Lucille. That is part of the special functionality here, is that the game will inform you whenever there's an alliance made, because otherwise you'd have to pay attention to every single interaction the Sims do, and that's obviously not very feasible. Also down here we have a little buff that says Alliance Formation. The Sim recently formed an alliance. They won't attempt to create another alliance for a little while, and it has a cooldown of 4 hours. This is basically to prevent spam, because especially if you have the No Idle Chat mod, they will constantly spam alliance proposals. So I had to add some sort of a cooldown so that you can use this with any combination of mods. Now you'll also see, if I go ahead and shift-click on Lucille here, go to More Choices, you'll see Remove Ally Status. The game actually remembers that these two are allies, and they won't be able to use the Propose Alliance interaction again with each other unless you manually remove them. The Sims can actually break alliances on their own too. If they get to -15 relationship, there's a break alliance option. Unfortunately, one thing to note for this interaction is that you have like multiple Sims in the conversation. The way I do it in my games is if any one of these, if they're all in the conversation, if they do the Propose Alliance interaction, everyone in the conversation is a part of that alliance. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to add the ally status between every Sim in the conversation, so you will have to manually set as allies between each Sim in the group. I know that's a little annoying, but that's just how it is. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can do that by shift-clicking on another Sim, and if you click any of these options, it will add that status between the two Sims, the one you have currently selected and the one you clicked on. For the other special interaction that you can use at any time, there are no conditions on this one, is Propose Deal. If I open this up, you'll see we have Propose Safety Deal, Propose Vote Deal. All of the deals work identically, they just have special conditions assigned to them. You'll see now, same thing happens in the top right. We have Safety Deal, Lucille has agreed to a safety deal with Hazel, and we get another moodlet down here, Deal Struck. Sim recently made a deal, they won't attempt to make any more for a little while. And that one has a 9-hour cooldown, because there's no restrictions whatsoever on using these deals, except for this little moodlet here. You may be wondering if there's any specific interactions for Big Brother and Survivor, and yes, there is. If I click on my currently selected Sim, again, that's the one with the plumb bob above their head, and go to More Choices, you can see we have Set as Veto Holder, Set as Idle Holder, Set as Advantage Holder. So if I were to go ahead and set as Head of Household here, you'll see now she has become confident. This Sim is the current Head of Household, they will be naturally confident while in power. Whatever status you set them as, Head of Household, Nominee, whatever, That will unlock special interactions for them to use. So for example, the head of household to any sim gets a flavor text interaction called Gather House Opinions, and any sim can go to the head of household and a new deal is available, the nomination deal. So this is basically Lucille here convincing Hazel as HOH to nominate someone or two people that they wish. If I go ahead and make Lucille here a nominee, you'll see she has an angry moodlet, but don't worry, this is not actually an angry moodlet. It has no emotional weight. It's just red so that it's easier to see. Cash, as you can see, has no moodlets whatsoever right now, and even if I make him a nominee, you can see he does not become angry because it doesn't actually have any weight to it, unlike head of household. You'll also notice there's a tense moodlet here now, and that's because she is a nominee near the HOH. Being around the HOH that nominated them is enough to make any sim stressed. We go to Marley over here, who is the current veto holder. You can see we have a new flavor text interaction, beg to use veto. Campaign for votes is available for any sim from the nominee. And we also have proposed veto deal, which is usable on the veto holder. That's basically it for all of the Big Brother specific interactions. There is one more interaction that I forgot to mention. It doesn't have to do with Big Brother, but I want to bring it up anyway. If they are at a relationship of 50 or higher, they are able to make a finale deal. This was originally Final 2 deal because this started as a Big Brother only mod, but now that I included Survivor, I have made it a finale deal, so it's more applicable with like any show, really. Just like allies, the game will remember if they made a finale deal with each other. If I go ahead and shift-click here, you can see set as finale deal. Shift-click again, remove finale deal status. It will remember that. Anyway, on to Survivor. You can go ahead and set a sim as an idol holder or an advantage holder. You'll see they get a confident one. If two sims are allies, it is presumed that they know about the idol that one has. So, these two are already allies. If I go to strategy now, you can see I have proposed idol deal. This is also possible for the non-holder to use, however it will not appear because I had to split it into two separate interactions because of how conditions work. They can still do the interaction autonomously, you just can't do it yourself. They both work the exact same as any other deal. Now, the Sims can choose to inform people who are not in an alliance about their idol or advantage. So if they have a relationship of 50 or higher, if I go... Here we go. They're at 50 right now. So if I go to strategy, we can now see tell about advantage. Let's go ahead and do this interaction. So you'll see informed of advantage. Hazel has informed Marley that they have an advantage. And now, if we go to strategy, you can see the advantage deal is there as well. So this is another status that you can set between sims if you want them to know about it. For example, you can see remove told about advantage. That is a bug, don't worry about that. They will fix that. And that's basically all there is to this mod. It's just little tiny interactions that give you notifications and the game remembering who made what alliance and stuff. It just creates more interesting gameplay because there are some moves that would just not be made without this mod. I highly recommend it. I know I'm the one who made it, so it's a little weird, but it has honestly made every season that I've played with it so much better than it ever would have been without it. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoy the mod. Let me know if you have any bugs or feature suggestions, and happy playing!